Hey there, so I moved to France back in 2016 with hopes to find a job here, and in less than a year I had the work permit to find any job I like in France. I ended up working at Atos Consulting in Paris as a cybersecurity consultant and in Amsterdam in cloud sales during my gap year. In this video I'm talking about the work permits that I applied for and how you could do this. If you're uncertain about moving to France with hopes to work here, this video should shed some light. This video should shed some on what you can expect and what exactly you're getting yourself. The objective of this video is to not give you the exact steps that I took, but to help you catch the proverbial fish. When it comes to the French work permit itself, I might have a biased view, but towards the end of this video, I'll also share a couple of pros and cons of getting the French work permit. Right, so first things first, you need to know about the public services in France. And before I show you their website, this is what they give you. I carry my work permit with me at all times. It's a little pink document. I'm not gonna let it completely focus on pink document with a little puce in the back. It looks like this. Right, so first things first, you need to know about the public services here in France. They have a website with their latest information and you need to be well versed with this. Let's see if we can do this together. She needs my attention. They have a website with the latest information and this keeps changing, so it's a good idea to get familiar with the whole thing. But yeah, if you're gonna move, buy a house, want to learn about retirement, need assistance on funding your house purchase, and more importantly, the topic of this video, everything related to the work. There are translated pages too, but for the best experience, you should read this website in French. There are so many simulators all over the place where you have to just tell them about your situation, how old you are, whether or not you're married, whether or not you have children, whether or not you're employed, and they'll give you the right documents that you need to put together for any application you may need here in France. I can't tell you how many times I've had to point out to the HR about an update that has happened on this website for foreign students and their work permits. Knowledge is definitely power, especially in this case. In one of the contracts I've signed in the past, I was able to negotiate the work permit part all on myself. I requested them to add a clause that if I don't have work permit, I don't get the job, because the HR came towards that in the end and said that we are a little uncertain that you have a work permit. So I assured them that I have one because I got it myself without the help of the company, and I had to tell them that they don't need to sponsor my work permit. But I don't think anyone is really checking everybody's work. So if I didn't really flag that out and say that I've got this covered, I probably wouldn't have had a shot at this company. You can pretend like Oli is talking to you. There are a bunch of different residence cards that you can apply for, and you can find the list on the same website. But here are the ones that surely you want to know. There's the student one. Okay, I don't think that's a very serious. There's a student one, the one that I applied. You can work up to 60% of legal working hours with this one. I got the non-stagiaire one at the end of my first year, and my school already knew that I need this for my gap year. So I did not do this part of the homework. But when they told me to check this website out, that's when I ate this website up, all the information that they had. So I got the pluriannual thanks to EDEC, and that made my internship hunt infinitely much easier because I didn't have to worry about the work. There's the APS one, which allows you to stay back for 1 year after you've finished your school, your third year that is. It lets you stay for 1 year hunting for a job. I did not need this one. Then there's the Passeport Talent. I got this one, the Salarié Qualifié. It was at 37,000 euros as a minimum. My first salary was higher than this, so I qualified for this one, and it lasts for 4 years. And if not for this one, there's the Holy Grail, the blue card. To qualify for this one, your salary should be at least 53,000 euros a year. It was not my case in the first year I started working over here. But with the blue card one, you can work anywhere across Europe. Once you get it over here in France, and if you happen to quit your job, then you can take another job anywhere in Europe, which is amazing. If you're not completely clear of why I'm talking about the permanent contract, the CDI, and the temporary internship kind of contract, which is the CDD, if you're not very clear about these two, then check out my timeline video where I spoke about these two kinds of contracts that you'll have to know about when you get out of your business. Failure to do this on time they'll just ask you to leave the country. So you need to be vigilant about this. Now, if you're not passionate about the French language or the culture, or you don't necessarily want to stay back in France, then you can consider doing an exchange in any one of the partner schools at EDEC. There are a host of them, and you can consider working over there after you have done your MSc in that university. Germany, for instance, has a list of shortage jobs or roles, and if your target industry falls in this list, then you can get a work permit immediately, and in a year you can even apply for citizenship. I think it's the same for Sweden as well. Now they have a government website where you can apply for job opportunities without having a visa. One of the things that I could not do with my work permit in the first year, the student visa one, was work for a job that paid me money. For that I needed the work student one, and there are so many student visas itself. But I found a way to circumnavigate this, and I spoke about that in my finances video, the ROI one. You can check it out if you're curious about making money with your student visa. So when you're researching about your work permit, all of these questions come in, like where can you work, what kind of jobs you can take. You need to know this yourself instead of secondhand information that somebody else gave you, because when you're making decisions like I did, going to work on a farm, going to do an internship, coming back to work on a farm, moving countries, then you need to be in the right. And the best place to learn about this is the government's website. In Europe, every country should have their own version of this public services website, so the more you know, the better for you. Now for the stuff that you can't find online, I want to share with you my experience of applying for this work permit, getting this work permit, and how this relates with the job application. If you're not aware about French paperwork and all the cliche around it, French paperwork takes a lot of time. There is a shred of truth to that, and you need to get used to that. My carte vitale, this green color card that makes life easy when you go to see a doctor. I received it a good 4 years after I moved to France. 4 straight years. I struggled with filling out forms when I went to see a doctor. In cases of emergency, and I've spoken about emergency before in this video here, in case of emergency, they don't trouble you. But when it's a regular checkup, or if you just want to go see a doctor that you take an appointment for, not the emergency kind, then you have to fill out a form to get the reimbursement. You have to make the payment there, and for the reimbursement, you need to fill a form. Fill this form. So with this, you don't have to do it, and the money comes in automatically, and it took me 4 years to get that. So when it came to the work permit itself, I must say, because I was from edX, life was much easier. They helped me with the documents that I need to prepare, and they also took the appointment for me at the prefecture. So all I had to do was show up. That was very helpful. And once you get how these things are done, doing it yourself a second and third time is not that hard. So big props to my business school, edX, for that. They helped me a big deal, and I would really be lost without their help. You'll notice this paperwork thing, even with big companies like L'Oreal and so on, you'll realize that they take, even after having a positive response from your manager, the company takes a hot second to give you the contract that you can sign. So you need to pre-plan this. You need to provision for this. I'm an optimist, and I'd like to see this as something that takes stress off my shoulders. Even at work, my next couple of weeks are already pre-planned in terms of milestones. So I don't really need to be stressed about what I'm doing the next week or the week after at work. But if you don't fit into this, then you'll find yourself being late all the time, even when you're on time. Like everything is pre-planned, and it just won't happen instantly. So if you want to have these big financial transactions, it's pre-planned. You have to fit into the pre-plan. Another pro about this work permit, whether it was a student one or the work one, you can travel to all of Europe with this. There's so many beautiful countries around this place, and most of them around France are so affordable to get. I've traveled to the Netherlands, a couple of places in Belgium. I've traveled to Spain. To Spain, it was only 80 euros to and fro to fly, just because France is so well situated next to all these countries. Even to cities around. It's down. There is a service called the WeGo, which you can use to travel to cities, and it can be really affordable if you want to go to these places. You can see this chart of the cities that they have cheap tickets to. As a student, you already know your calendar in advance, so if you pre-plan it, there are affordable tickets all over the place. I went to Strasbourg, which costed me around 20 bucks in a TGV train, so which was a fast train. To go to Lille, it can be as cheap as 10 euros from Paris, and to go to a couple of places like Toulouse and Bordeaux as well, which is far away, it's quite affordable. For the cons part of it, if you want to work out of France, the school can't really help you on that part. They can probably point you on how you can inform yourself, but they really can't help you with the documents or the application. That part you'll have to do yourself. Even after you finish your school, if you haven't done your MSc in that country, it can be a little difficult. Oli, what do you do? Even after you finish your school, if you want to work in a country where you did not do your MSc, it can be a little tricky for you to get your work permit. The second con is if you don't speak the French language, life can be really difficult. To apply for this work permit in the first place, to declare your taxes, for almost everything, you need the French language, at least a basic understanding of the language, otherwise you're really lost. I got charged for tax TV when I did not have a TV, and for me to get reimbursed for this, it was a whole ordeal. I had to email them in French, and then I had to go meet them face to face and claim my reimbursement, and then after a couple of months, I got my money back. Same thing happened when the Finance Publique took over a year to reimburse my tax rebate, a good 13 straight months to give my money back, a good 800 euros that they owe me, and almost a year later, when I still haven't received my reimbursement, because I did not pay a portion of my tax, for 1 month, they charged me a fine. a 10% fine. So I ended up writing them a scathing email in French where I pointed out their inequality and that if they want to fine me 10%, they should also be giving me 10% interest by the same principle, at which point they just said titre exceptionnel and gave me my money back. They also gave me my fine back. These are of course cherry-picked situations that happened over 6 years of my life here in France. They might happen to you too, and when they do, if you don't know the French language, you're going to struggle. If you're going to live here in the long term, your first logical investment should be in the French language. So long story short, if you want to live and work over here in this country, I've said this on this channel before, you better learn the language. Unless you come here only for the school and you're going away to work in another country or to your family business back home, in which case don't bother. About how the French language itself benefited me, consider watching this video where I did a car chase in the middle of the night across Paris to track back my phone that I lost. But before you go, let's get to the question and answers. Boss, are you married? Why do you need my marital status, my friend? Clover emoji, thanks. The previous video was not really an MIM video. I was really proud about this video, but I'm going to skip these comments because they are not really questions about MIM stuff. But I do read all of your comments and I'm really glad to receive them. Thank you guys. Alright, starting with Shweta Kulkarni. I'm so happy to have come across a realistic and honest video. Thank you so much, Shweta. Planning to study at a good luck with your application. Thank you, Rajanji. Congratulations, Joshua. To learn a foreign language is a huge accomplishment. Thank you so much, Mystic Produce. I don't know why I over enunciate some names. Mystic Produce. I think I'm trying to not get it wrong. Could you tell the other country name? What are the country names? Sorry man, be a little more specific. Really honest and amazing journey that you have shared. Glad to see a North Kannadiga going to France and do what you do. Thanks man, Varun Patel. Atul bhai, I've read this comment before. It's really fulfilling to read. Thanks so much bro, Atul. Nice, Joel. Thanks man. My naam is Ranjit and your Nederlands is geweldig. Dankjewel Ranjit. Jij Nederlands, je Nederlands is geweldig ook. I love your Tamil. Thanks Vijay. Kiran, as always a value packed video. Thanks man. Farhan, love the transparency. Thanks man Farhan. Another informative video. Nirav bhai, nice to see some of my friends coming on and commenting on my videos. You're killing it Josh. Thanks bro Nirav. Another gem of a video. Thanks man. Hey Josh, that was super informative. Can you tell us how you managed your time in M1 and how difficult it was to manage studies and the side gigs? This is a nice, yeah, I think I can spend a hot second on this one. Well, relative to India, I think you do have much more free time over here. Like if I'm comparing my engineering school days to my MIM school days, there was much more free time, during my MIM school days. There are weekly assignments that you have to submit, but you can definitely work around it. I learned to make videos during this time and I even learned the French language. I started off my YouTube channel when I was in edX business school. So it's not impossible. You do have a lot of free time. The time management thing for me has been real when it came to emotional health, like your mental energy. You know, if you don't have that energy, even if you have the time, you don't end up doing anything productive, anything useful, anything that helps you. You end up whiling that time away. So it took me a hot second to build up on that. Yeah, I think that should be more of a struggle than finding pockets of time to do your personal work. There's plenty of time. One of the key takeaways in this video is risk management. Hey, thanks man Karthik. Any potential student looking forward, but in general to thanks man, thanks a lot. Lol, tasting it, get CDS. Hilarious. Damn, I feel so old when I read some of your comments. Krupakar, I don't know what CDS means. Content delivery system, distribution system. That's the only CDS I know. Sorry man. Suhas, wow, that was a great video. You must have felt amazing editing this video and thankful for the footage. We own our moods. Thanks man. We do own our moods. Yeah. It's been something. Yeah. Suhas, is this a Suhas Sharma I know from Bangalore? In which case, hi Suhas, what's up? Great video. Thanks for sharing your finances. Of course, Sulup Alphonse. What's the median GMAT score? I put that out right in the video for edX MIM class. I don't have the number in my head. I think the minimum was 550. The median, I really don't know. You can Google this. It should be on their website. Thank you for the video. Of course, great video, Josh. As someone who's looking to do MIM, this helps a lot. Good tips. Thanks, Kiran. Hi, I DM'd on Instagram. Please check. Will do. Now, what is your profession? I just linked my LinkedIn. I don't remember this. Excellent advice, Joshua. Thanks, Atul. Bro, I really believe that you can provide so much value through your videos. Yeah, this one I've already read before. Please check out my other video where I'm doing a car chase to find my phone. I'm really proud of that whole story thing, man. Thank you so much for tuning into this one. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves and keep learning.